Hello, it's Catherine here of Selling from the Heart, and I want to talk to you today about why selling your services by the session or by the hour is not only hurting your business, but it's also hurting your clients. And this has come about because of two recent experiences in my personal life that have really highlighted this for me. So I want to share those experiences with you, because if you're watching this, you're probably either somebody who charges out your services or your work by the session or by the hour, or perhaps you have brought your services into some sort of container or package or program, but you might not be feeling completely comfortable about it. So what I see quite a lot is that people will they get the idea of packages and why it's a good idea. But then those little voices kick in, the ones that say, oh, but I can't imagine any of my clients would buy a package from me, or I don't think that the thing that I do is something that I can really sell this way. And so, and what that then translates to is that, yes, you have the package ready to go, but you lack the sense of confidence and conviction that you need to offer it in a way that is clear for the client. You tend to shy away from it, and so then you're not in the flow of enrolling clients in this way. So I want to share this with you. Before I do that though, I just want to really quick sort of recap on why selling your services by the package rather than by the session is so important. First of all, it's better for your clients, because when you sell your work as a program or package, what you're effectively selling the client and what you're asking them to pay for is the end result. And the package or program is designed to deliver them to that end result. The other thing is that because you're selling them the end result, your clients will inevitably get better results because they're going to see the process through. So this means better results for your clients, better case studies for you, more success stories for you, and of course, more clients running around the planet having had this transformation from you, which means that you then in turn get more word of mouth referrals and recommendations. The other thing is that it makes your business work so much more smoothly and more sustainably. As an example, it is so much easier to sell 2 packages of £1,000 each in any given month than it is to sell 20 single sessions of £100 each. Much easier, because to sell 2 packages, you've only got to attract and have a conversation with and enroll 2 people. To sell 20 sessions, you're going to need to be out there doing a huge amount of work to enroll that number of people. Plus, if they're not in packages, some of them are not going to stick the course. So you're going to be looking for new clients to replace them very soon, which is one of the fastest ways to burn out. I mean, it's just not a sustainable model for you to be able to do all of the marketing that you would need to do to attract that number of clients and deliver to those clients. You'll burn out doing it, and that's a fairly common pattern that I see. So the stories that I have are, one is of a recent example of me seeking help for something in my personal life, something that I had decided that I wanted to work on. I knew it was probably a fairly deep issue, was not going to be a quick fix, and I identified a practitioner, had a Skype call with her. She recommended that I come and see her for a one-off session. She sent me a questionnaire. The questionnaire was very detailed and comprehensive, so it was quite a commitment on my part just to fill out the questionnaire, which was a good move for her. And actually on the questionnaire it did say that they outlined the different ways she works with people. So it talked about a 3-month program, a 6-month program, and also some ongoing work, ongoing options. So we had the session, and it was a 2-hour session, And she actually conducted, I'm going to say, the work. So let's say the healing, the talking, the work that was being done with me. She continued that right up to the end of the 2 hours, like right to the dot. And I was expecting her to talk to me about next steps, to offer me an ongoing way of working. And she didn't say anything. She didn't even say, think about it and get back to me. She wrapped up the session and she showed me out. Now, I was bewildered. I was confused. Now, the part of me that teaches sales and knows that a lot of practitioners can be uncomfortable talking about pricing and money was able to think, perhaps she wasn't comfortable having the money conversation. Perhaps she didn't want to appear to be salesy and she preferred to leave the ball in my court. Okay, fair enough. But there's another side to me, and that's the part of me that is a regular human being who's vulnerable and has the stuff in my life that I want to deal with. And that very human part of me felt bereft because I felt that I'd really opened up to her in that session, because I thought I was committing to a longer process. And yet, after her apparently caring about me in the session, she sent me away with no further solution, no further follow-up work. So I was bereft because it didn't feel as though she cared about me. It was like, well, she cared about me in the session, but now the session's over, she doesn't. I also felt rejected, actually. A little bit like, oh, maybe she doesn't want to do further work with me. And I've talked about this in other videos in the past. This is one of my triggers: rejection, the idea that someone doesn't want me. So that immediately triggered my feelings of rejection. She obviously doesn't like me, doesn't want to work with me. Maybe that's why she hasn't offered me the next step. And of course, there was a little part of me that was a little bit annoyed because I'd invested in that first session, both time and money, doing it because I believed we were embarking on the beginning of a process together. And while I was very, very happy to make the investment in the transformation that I want, I wasn't happy to just waste money on a one-off session that I knew, and I'm sure she knew, wasn't going to be enough on its own. So that was the first example. And that was about 3 weeks ago. We haven't been in contact, and I have actually sought out another practitioner to work on that. Mainly because it felt uncomfortable for me, the human side of Catherine, not the person who understands sales, but the human part of me felt uncomfortable being the one reaching out to her when she'd made no indication from her side that she was interested in and offering me a way to do further work with her. So another example just sort of illustrates the opposite, which is that I've also recently been having acupuncture for a completely different issue, more of a physical thing this time. And I'd been going to an acupuncturist, fairly similar thing. He was charging me session by session. There was no clear outcome or result that we were heading towards. And I had 4 sessions with him. And after 4 sessions of going session by session, I started to feel dissatisfied. I started to feel that the whole thing was just a little bit aimless. Like, what were we really heading for? And the other thing is that I started to doubt the process. I started to think, can he really help me with this? Because he's not really encouraging me to commit to doing more work. He's just letting me come as and when I feel like it, session by session. Maybe this isn't really something he can help with. So I'd started to doubt. And then around that time, somebody I know recommended another acupuncturist. And of course, here's the interesting thing. I wasn't committed to working with this chap. Let's call him John. I'd made no commitment. I hadn't bought into anything. So there was no... I switched to the new lady. Now, the experience with her was the total opposite of those 2 experiences. She, once she'd done the initial consultation, she actually talked in very clear terms about the end result that I could expect to get as a result of working with her, which was the result that I was looking for, of course. She told me how long she would expect it to take me to get there, and she recommended that I see her once a week for 6 weeks. Could be longer because everybody's different, but that was the minimum commitment. And beyond that, I would then have a maintenance session with her, probably once a month, but again, that could be longer. And she recommended that I purchase that 6 weeks as a 6-week package for £800. Now, I know for sure that some of you would balk at the idea of making that offer to one of your potential clients, because you'd be thinking, oh, she's going to think that I'm just trying to sell to her. She's going to think that I'm just wanting to get her money. But let me tell you how it felt when this acupuncturist, and I'm going to call her Laura, how it felt to me when Laura made me that offer. In comparison to the other two practitioners, I felt as though she cared about me. She had listened to me, she understood what I wanted to achieve, and she cared about me enough to offer me a program that was going to support me to get the result that I wanted. And that felt very, very supportive for me. I also felt that we were on track together to get this result. I felt that there was a plan, and that there was a roadmap. I felt she'd laid out a roadmap of, this is where I can help you get to, and this is how we're going to do it. So I was delighted to be able to make a commitment myself to somebody that was offering me that level of result and that level of support and care. So I guess the thing that I'm trying to convey there is that rather than it seeming salesy or self-serving, the fact that she offered me the program and package made me feel cared for and reassured that I was going to get the result. So of course, meanwhile, the two other practitioners missed out on the opportunity to enrol somebody in ongoing work. And I know the acupuncturist in particular, during one of my sessions, we got talking about marketing, of course, as you would, and he told me that he spends a lot of money on his SEO. And interestingly enough, I found him through Google. So he's got a problem in his business because he's pouring money into the top of his marketing bucket, but he's not actually converting people into ongoing clients who are in a sort of container or maintenance program. Whereas Laura, who sold me a program designed to deliver me my result, is probably not needing to struggle with her marketing as much. I came to her as a result of a word of mouth referral from somebody who knew the level of results that she gets because she'd seen it. And of course, Laura's much more likely to have those type of referrals because the way she's working and the programs she's offering are more likely to lead to clients actually getting those long-term results. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And of course, your business is different. You know, for all of us, our businesses is slightly different. You know, you may be selling somebody into a package right from the very first initial sales conversation. You might be having an initial session with somebody in order to get to know them and then recommending that they go on and join one of your programs or containers. Sometimes you might do a small project for somebody as a way for them to get to know you. But really, if you want to create lasting change in a way that gives the client the transformation they're looking for, but also gives you that sense of fulfillment that you're making a genuine difference and actually seeing results, then I would really encourage you to shift that thinking around the packages. So I'd love to know how you found this. Has hearing, the perspective of the client changed your thinking at all around offering packages? Is it going to make you more confident to offer your package the next time you have the opportunity? Please let me know in the comments below. And of course, I'd love you to share this if you know anybody else that you think might be struggling with this, would find this useful. And If you're not already a member, do hop over to the Facebook community, it's called Selling from the Heart community, and I'd love to support you further in there. Until next time.